Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting with me, Carl the Cobra Froch. You have spoken and you've been asking for a special guest. So I couldn't get the best in the business. I couldn't get the one you was all asking for. So I got the second best, Mr. Tony Bellew. He knows I'm only messing around. How are you, mate? You're right.
Who are they asking for, lad?
I'm not going to pick on you today, but I can actually get a little bit braver now. You can't get your hands on me.
So we're not close, so yeah, you're lucky. What's happening? Talk to me. What do you want to know?
Yeah, not much, mate. We're going to do the 12 rounds was so successful last time. We're going to do another 12 rounds. Just quick fire, punchy questions. And yeah, just give me your best honest answer like you always do. And we'll
I've got a question for you to start with.
Yeah, go on.
What makes you think I can't commentate on my mates when I'm at work, soft lad?
Why are you stealing my questions? What makes me think you can't? Right, I'm going to answer this honestly because quite a lot of people have been asking me about this.
I've commentated on one of your fights.
I just think that you're so passionate, so loyal. Yeah. That's the scout in you, because my missus is the same, and the late father-in-law. That when you're commentating on your friends, and I know you're close, very close to Anthony Joshua, you just find it difficult. You'll turn any kind of negative or any positive, like negative criticism that's actually constructive criticism. You'll turn it into a positive rather than just probably say what you're thinking. Because when he fought Helenius, I just think that something needed to be said. And I don't think that Helenius fight was going to set him up good enough for a Deontay Wilder fight. But on the night when I was listening to your comments, I just thought, I feel like you're biting your tongue and you're finding it difficult. But if you disagree with me, then tell me, be honest.
What was my comment?
You know what?
What was my comment at the end of the fight when he said, "Do you think Anthony Joshua should face Deontay Wilder next?" What did I say?
Oh, actually, you did say no. Did you say one more fight?
You've just contradicted yourself, Carl.
No, I've not contradicted myself because you didn't say. I didn't say that you said he should fight Deontay Wilder next. But I just thought there was no constructive criticism on his lack. He wasn't putting shots together. He looked gun shy. He was on his back foot. He was defense first and a little bit too negative. I just didn't think that came across.
What did they say in the pre-fight? In the pre-fight, my words were, if it goes past 6 rounds, it's a bit of a disaster.
Yeah, I suppose I'm not going to backtrack it because I just think that you could have been a little bit more critical.
Harsh.
And I
think you to be harsh, but there was
not harsh.
To be harsh because the knockout made up for everything.
No, not harsh, just honest in terms of honest with your criticism. Just be like, look, this might hurt Anthony's feelings, but he needs to work on this and he needs to work on that. And
that's exactly what I said. I don't think
that performance.
The next.
Right, I need my producer to pull up this interview after this fight because I'm not having this.
That's exactly why I said I don't think he should face Wilder next.
Yeah, definitely shouldn't face Wilder next. But
if I see why he's going to do it, you would, wouldn't you? I would. I mean, 60 million.
Is that what they're talking in Saudi?
60 million, mate.
But I'll be honest, if I didn't think I was ready, I'd listen to my coach, listen to my manager, or whoever it was.
Stop. 60 million, you would fight your mother, your father, your uncle, your cousin.
Yeah, but if you
had... Don't get me wrong, I would.
Mate, if you were down to your last 10 quid, you'd fight him for 60 million. You'd fight him for 6 million. But Anthony Joshua's not skint, is he? Let's be honest.
No, but 60 million, Carl, that makes a dent in anyone's bank. That makes a dent in a billionaire's bank. 60 million. 60 million. And if he chooses to go and live, let's just say, in the United Arab Emirates for the 12 months, he doesn't get taxed on it.
Let's put it another way. How much would you pay to not get knocked spark out in a fight when you've had a bad knockout? Let's say Ricky Hatton lost to Manny Pacquiao in a bad knockout.
Yeah.
I personally feel he'd give that money back to take that knockout off his record because I don't think that sits right with him. And looking at that documentary he's done on Sky, I just think that he's mentally traumatized by a couple of his losses that he probably didn't need to take. That's the way I look at it. And if Anthony Joshua's going to walk the Green Mile and get slaughtered for 60 million, then that's on him. But me personally, I'd give him the advice and say, listen, you've got some work to do first.
Every fighter that's ever graced boxing would take a knockout loss for 60 million. You and I both know it.
I'm not sure about that, mate.
60 million. Everyone's. We all get defeated in the end anyway. So some of us have been defeated for next to nothing.
Well, not everybody's motivated by money, and when you're financially free, you don't need to look at money and say, "Oh, that's such a big amount of money. I'm going to risk my life." I disagree. I don't care that it's 60 million or 600 million. there's no amount of money that you can put on your health and you can put on your, I don't know, your legacy and your reputation. I mean, you can't be going into a fight almost certainly knowing you're going to get done.
But has he not got a chance to knock him out as well? Theoretically, of course he has.
He has, yeah. Listen, if he believes in himself and he'd have put a better performance.
Imagine he clips him.
Yeah, but he's not let his hands go in his last 2 or 3 fights. That's my argument.
But he's got no fighters jumped on him like Wilder's going to jump on him.
Listen, look at the size of AJ and look at his reach and his ability compared to Wilder. Mainly Wilder's all he's got is a punch.
Yeah.
But Anthony Joshua's leaving it all in the locker room. He's not putting together the stuff he should be putting together. He's not setting things up. He's not putting the shots together. I don't know what his sparring's like, but I know from when he used to be under Robert McCracken, he didn't enjoy sparring and he was cutting corners with running. So if you're not doing the tough runs, if you're not wanting to do the sparring, you know yourself when you're sparring.
I watched the sparring for the last camp.
Sparring's hard work. It's a necessary evil. But if you don't want to do it, you're not going to get ready for the fight. And I just think that he needs a real shake-up. And I'd love him to get himself in a position where I feel that he can beat Deontay Wilder. The last thing you want a British fighter to do is go out, fight for world titles, unified world titles, and then come back empty-handed, because we want them belts in Britain. But let's not use the whole time we've got talking about Anthony Joshua and me and you arguing about what was said and what wasn't said.
I also had my other friend Derek Chisora losing in three out of the 4 fights I've commentated on him, and in one of them he got the win. I had him actually drawn against Kubrat Pulev. So once again, that's a bit of a misjudgment, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought he lost that one. Did you have him drawing, did you? This is what I'm saying about you.
I had him drawn, and the judges had him winning.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Doesn't look like your argument's going good here, mate.
No, I'm not worried about the Chisora stuff, because I think Chisora lost that fight. But I just think for Anthony Joshua, you're really good mates with him. And
we're friends.
We've said what we've said, haven't we?
Friends, but we're friends, we're friends like me and you are friends. And I get on with him, we speak, we message each other quite frequently. And I look out for him because I think he's what he's done for British boxing, similar to yourself, is unbelievable.
What do you think, while we're talking about him, what fight would you like to see him in before the Wilder fight?
Andy Ruiz again.
Ruiz.
I like that fight. I think he pulverizes Ruiz this time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's other. I'd like to have seen the Dillian White fight. If I'm being totally and brutally, I mean.
Yeah, I was gutted about that one being stopped. I was really upset about
that. Would have been a really good fight. I mean, listen, if you ask me to do a fight, I want to see him against Fury, obviously. That's the fight that we all want to see. But I just don't know. For him to fight next, it's tough because the heavyweight division isn't as deep as it should be.
Yeah.
And you're either a fringe contender or you're not really that good. And that's how it is. Fringe contenders. There's the elite boys.
It's like the top. It's like the top. It's the top 3 or 4. Then it's like the worlds apart, aren't they? That's how it is in heavyweight boxing. It's like that actually in quite a lot of divisions. A lot of weight divisions are like that. Like the top. If you go on the top 10, like most of the time, the back 5 can't compete with the top 3. They just can't get anywhere near them. That's just boxing, and that's why it's so tough. But no. On you commentating on AJ, I'd probably just like to hear you say, listen, he's not ready for Wilder. He needs another fight first, and he needs to probably fight because that performance wasn't good enough. But
I said it in different words. I just said I don't think he's ready for Wilder.
Yeah, he turned into a politician. It was very good. I liked what you did.
Correct as you, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I can't be accused of being politically correct. That's for sure. Right. Anyway. I don't know how much of this we're going to get through, but hopefully we'll get through all 12 rounds. Short, sharp, and punchy. First of all, I think I'll start with the same question I started with on the last 12 rounds, and that was, are you fighting again or thinking about fighting again?
I was, yes.
Oh, you was? Okay. So what was this? An exhibition, a crossover, or was it? And who was it with?
Lucas Rosansky.
Lucas Rosansky.
Whichever one it was. Thomas Rosansky, the Breakaway champion.
Yeah. And you fancy that, do you?
I did, but it seemed to have been taken out of my hands now. I'd love to be a 2-weight world champion, and I'd have 100% beat him.
Right, even now after the time. Wait, how long you had out the ring now? What is it?
5 years.
Yeah, long time, mate. 1 year is too long, I think, out the ring.
It is. But when you look at him, I just think I'd have beat him hands down. Far better boxer. I've never really got to the point where I'm completely out of shape, and I'm not scared to take the odd slap or punch, and I've took a few since I've retired. So yeah,
So
getting ready for the movie Creed allowed me to see what my body could do again, because believe it or not, I had abs for the movie Creed 3, which was absolutely nuts. I think Talksport picked it up and put a post out on social media. And yeah, I got in great shape. So just let me know that I could turn back the clock one more time, maybe. But he'd have to be a similar age and he'd have to be absolutely pumping.
Yeah. You won't go in there with a top world champion. Because I've always said if I came back, it'd have to be some like talking. There was talk about Jake Paul and Conor McGregor. Obviously not in the cage. We've had that argument, even though I think I'll do him in the cage.
Me and Bellew Jack get on.
I won't start you. I won't start you on the cage thing because I know your thoughts on that. But you can't come back. You can't come back at a top level as a professional. I think it's disrespectful to the sport to think that you can have 2, 3, 4, or 5 years out in your case and come back and compete against a bona fide world champion. Well, I just don't.
Bellew Jack right now is the WBC cruiserweight champion in the world.
Yeah. Well, you pick. Yeah. If you pick your dance partner, because what's Bellew Jack? Is he 40, 41?
He's a year younger than me, so he might be, or he's the same age. I'm 41 this year. I think he's 40.
Yeah, so he's similar age too. So yeah, exactly. You're picking your dance partner there. So no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, if you pick the right opponent, then there's a chance. So is that dead? Is that actual potential? No, God. Question 1 done. Who's the most overrated boxer in boxing right now, in the world boxing?
Davis.
Who'd you say then? Horror Davis?
Yeah,
Davis. Okay, fair enough. Any reasons to back up your overrated claim?
I mean, he's quit twice. He's definitely both. I mean, I've seen him step up against Josh Taylor and he quit. And he's going on, he should be a world champion and this and that. But when he stepped up against Josh Taylor, he got his ass absolutely handed to him on a plate and spewed it. Watched the referee count to 10 while he was on one knee. What more can you say? Any fighter who stays down off a body shot, mate, and watches the referee count to 10, then gets up and says he's okay. Carl, what are they called in our world?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them body shots and staying down. I think if you're on your knees, even to a headshot, if you're up and you're looking out the ring or you're looking around instead of looking at the referee, I just think you're kind of telling people that you don't want to carry on fighting, which
I've been dropped on my face by Over McKenzie, got up at the count of 4. I've been dropped flat on my back by Alexander Usyk, was up at the count of 7. Wanting to carry on. Thankfully, a referee saved my life and didn't let me, but I just believe in getting up and fighting no matter what shape you're in. And
Macabre put you into a backward roll, didn't he? And then you stood up.
He did, yeah.
No, but he put you into a backward roll. You got up and you won the WBC world title. So, yeah, you climbed off the canvas. Deontay Wilder knocks out Anthony Joshua. Agree or disagree? I think we've kind of just had that debate, haven't we?
I just think, I'm not going to lie, I think it's whoever lands first. I think it's that brutal. It's that easy. This is a proper pick and fight. That's why it's probably the most eagerly anticipated heavyweight fight in the world. If you asked everyone, if you've got to pick between Usyk and Fury, which one you'll watch, or AJ and Wilder, I think more of want to watch AJ Wilder because you have no idea what's going to happen. No idea whatsoever. Wilder is going to jump all over AJ, and he's going to have to throw, and he will throw. And when he does throw, it's a 50-50 call, whether anyone can dress it up whatever way they want. But Anthony Joshua hits anyone on the button, they're going down. I don't care who you are.
Do you think that Anthony Joshua landing a big punch is as effective or as devastating as Deontay Wilder landing one big punch? Because me personally, I feel that AJ is more of an accumulation puncher, and he used to be a great finisher. So I'm not so sure about that. It's who lands first.
I think he's the best. I think he's the best finisher in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, when he's
by a considerable amount.
Even now, based on his last few performances.
Even now, I think he's the best finisher in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, see, I've not seen anything of him putting combinations together and finish anybody off because.
But look at his opponents who he's had to show it against. That's maybe why.
Yeah, he's been in with.
Take a defeat in your career, it affects the fighter. There's no two ways about it. When I took my first defeat my first proper defeat against Donald Stevenson, I was a different fighter after that. I wasn't safety first, I wasn't gun shy, but I knew I could then be hurt. When I felt the first loss against Nathan Cleverly, I didn't really class myself as a loser. I didn't think I lost that fight, I thought I won it. But when the loss comes against Stevenson, you're stopped on your feet and you're hurt, it makes you the different fighter. And Anthony Joshua has encountered that exact same feeling. And now he knows I'm not Superman no more. I can be hurt. I am vulnerable. I need to box clever. not maybe to order so much, but I need to box. We've seen in the Kubrat Pulev fight, when he lets his hands go, he's frightening. But there's also another side to him, off the side of he doesn't want to gas, and that's in the back of his mind all the time. I think he'll let go of that feeling sooner rather than later. And I think when he does let go of that feeling, he'll get back to the wrecking machine he was. Make no mistake, if Anthony Joshua would have went in with Robert Helenius 5 years ago, he'd have knocked him out in a round. So people will say, well, why did it take whatever it took this time, 7 or 8 rounds, whatever it took? People will say, well, why did it take that now? It takes that now because of the experience that he's had between in the start of his career up to now. Does that make him a better fighter? Possibly. It makes him a more cautious fighter, and it makes him a fighter who's more aware of that he can be hit. That's all it does make. And I think against Wilder, he'll have no choice, Carl. He will have no choice, because Wilder will do what Wilder does, and he is wild and he will swing. It will give AJ no other option than to trade back, and that's where you get the great fight.
But my problem with that is, and I agree with everything you've said, except for the point that he's not shown anything. Like when you got dropped and you got done by Stevenson, when you came back and you was rebuilding, you was still had that mindset, and you still had that aggression, and you're still letting combinations go, and you were still going for that big left hook, that bomber, you was looking for the combinations that finish with a hook, or looking to iron somebody out. I just think AJ, he's not an offensive fighter anymore. He's never, when he's in range and he's got the time and the opportunity to let a combination go and put it together. Like his last fight over Helenius, I was screaming at the television saying, you've got him now. He's in the spot where you need him. Right now, throw 4 punches, not wildly, just left, right, left hook, straight, right, or chuck it to the shoulder or the body. Just throw 4 shots, get in range, then chuck that uppercut on the hook. And it was always, I tell you what, I'll get back behind my jab. I tell you what, I'll just move out the way and just get safety first and get my guard up. I didn't see that aggression. I didn't see that explosive kind of finisher that he used to be.
I fully understand what you're saying, and I agree to a certain extent. But he looks at fights now as he wants to break people down. He doesn't want to just go like it. A lot of it depends on you need a dance partner. A lot of it depends on your opponent. Anytime someone presses him or jumps over, like, do you think he'd have took that approach against Dillian White? Dillian White would have tried to jump all over him, and you know he's going to let his hands go against Dillian White.
Well, that's the reason I wanted to see the Dillian White fight, because that would have answered my question. It would have answered it, because I was thinking Dillian White's going to come and try and hurt him and try and have a go at him, and if AJ goes on his back foot and shies away and tries to just safety first and tucks up and takes a step back and gets his guard up, Dillian White's going to walk through him and land something eventually.
But he knows Deontay Wilder is going to do that, so he has no choice. And when a fighter put his backs against the wall, he will fire, he will retaliate, he will meet fire with fire. 100%. As I say, I agree with you. Deontay Wilder is probably the single biggest puncher of his era, without a shadow of a doubt. But believe you me, if AJ hits him with all of his weight behind his shot, because you've got to agree with this, AJ's a far bigger puncher than Tyson Fury. Yeah.
I mean, Tyson Fury can bang. I didn't realize how he could bang till he landed that uppercut on White's chin. I just thought to myself, oh dear me.
Weight of Fury's punches.
That was an out cold shot. But he's not a massive puncher. But he doesn't look for the big punch, does he? He kind of throws combination punches, speed, light work, and then when he has to, he then.
Remember how many times that fighter dropped Deontay Wilder, and we all know that Anthony Joshua is a bigger puncher than Tyson Fury. So that's how I kind of weigh it up.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it just for me, he needs to put himself in a position where he can throw the punch, and he should let it go. And I'd have loved to seen him be more aggressive. Right back in that first rematch against Ruiz, when he took that rematch in Saudi, and he was outboxing him for 12 rounds, similar to when, let's go to one of mine. I lost to Mikkel Kessler, so I knew I could be beat. I didn't get put down, but I was hurt a couple of times in that fight. And my very first fight back was against the same promoters, the Sauerlands, but it was against Arthur Abraham. And Arthur Abraham's a dangerous fighter, and he's got a tight guard, and he tries to knock you out with one punch. We put 3 or 4 together. I boxed his head off, but I put 7 and 8 punch combinations together. And I'm not talking 3s and 4s. I'm talking 7 and 8 punch. So when I had him against the ropes or in the corner, I was trying to smash his head in and knock him out, but he was too tough. But I went for it. And AJ didn't go for it. Through the whole 12 rounds against Ruiz, it was jab, move, jab, 1-2, move, 1-2, keep out of the way. And then when he was under pressure, he looked like he didn't want to be in there at times. I just thought, you're 8-0 up, 8 rounds up. The guy's knackered. He's overweight. He's disgraced himself really in that rematch, Ruiz did.
But I don't have to take into consideration of what it got in the previous fight. He went in for the kill in the previous fight after dropping him, and look where it got him. So that's why he goes into the second fight an improved version and goes, right, you know what? Why take a risk when I can just outbox you? We never criticised Floyd Mayweather for doing it because we watched Floyd Mayweather win 10, 12 round lopsided decisions. Why doesn't he finish his opponent after 9 rounds?
He's a very offensive fighter when he has to be. I mean, he's fought everybody. I mean, Miguel Cotto and Marcus Maidana, them fights, he was having fucking tear-ups and bloodbaths with them and exchanging.
I go way back to the likes of Jesus Christ. I mean, you're talking about when his first explosion fight is Diego Corrales when he comes on the scene. The way he defeats Angel Manfredi, all of these fighters, the things that he does Floyd Mayweather, but no one says, well, why doesn't he just knock people out? He used to be able to knock people out. Why doesn't he do it now? It's evolution of a fighter. He wants to then maintain, a quality performance. He doesn't feel, some fighters don't feel they need to knock out now. Heavyweights are always
I know what you're saying. Stylistically, though, he can do that.
Carl, if you could go in a ring and someone says to you, right, you're going to get clipped a few times here, maybe even dropped, but you still win if you go for that by knockout. Or you can get in the ring, not take a single punch and just win a 12-round decision. Which one do you take?
Yeah, the smart guy goes for the latter, and the stupid guy in the heat of the moment will try and go for the finish. So yeah, I mean, we're in the game of not getting hit. We've got the first rule of boxing is to try and hit your opponent and not get hit back. Obviously, that's what we're trying to do. But you know yourself, in the heat of the battle, you've got to probably take one to get in range and let three or four off. And
that's mine and your mindset. His is now at a stage where it's different.
Yeah, so it's mindset and that following on from the loss that I'm kind of stuck with him. I'm stuck in mud with my opinion on him, moving forward and becoming a unified champion or becoming a world champion again.
If he knocks out Deontay Wilder, Carl?
Listen, if he knocks out Deontay Wilder, I'll be elated and I'll be, and it's not like all egg on your face. I'm like, thank you. About time. Fucking hell, he's showed some gumption and he's gone in there and some tenacity, and he's stood there and he's had an exchange with Deontay and he's fucking caught him and he's put a combination together. How amazing would that be? It makes the hair stand up on my arms and my neck.
What would your opinion be of him then if he does knock him out?
Well, depending on how the fight went, if it was a one-punch knockout, then obviously you're saying he's a one-punch knockout man. But my opinion on him would be he's broke the curse. My opinion would be he's broke the curse. He's back. Right. Where's Tyson Fury? Let's get that fight on ASAP, because I think that fight's getting further and further away the longer Tyson Fury's out of the ring.
And then what's your opinion if Deontay Wilder knocks him out?
If Deontay Wilder knocks out Anthony Joshua?
Yeah.
I don't think Joshua will want to fight again after that. I don't think he can build up back after that. If Wilder knocks out Anthony Joshua, I think that's the end of Anthony Joshua. I don't think he comes back from that. Do you?
Yeah, I do. I just think Deontay Wilder's capable. What would you have done if Tyson Fury, if Deontay Wilder would have knocked Tyson Fury out in that third fight? He dropped him in whatever round it was when he shudders it right through his body. Is that the end of Tyson Fury? Deontay Wilder's capable of knocking anyone out. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, but I've got no qualms with Tyson Fury and his mindset and his confidence in his ability, because he fights and he wears his heart on his sleeve in the ring. He goes for it and he'll put himself in harm's way. He'll get knocked down. He'll get up and he'll fight back. But Anthony Joshua, since the Ruiz loss, I just think I think he's a damaged fighter. I've got to be honest. I just don't think he's ever been the same since that loss.
Yeah, but that's an opinion of someone's mindset. We don't actually know what's in his mind now.
Yeah, but you can see by his performances. You can see by his performances what he's thinking. I'm not privy to his sparring sessions or his gym sessions, but when I watch him fight, I'm concerned that it's not there anymore. But hopefully we'll find out. Hopefully he'll do the business. He'll get the opportunity
sooner rather than later.
I think he'll get the opportunity, or he might get the opportunity to fight once more before he fights Wilder. I think he needs to. Otherwise, he needs some really hellish sparring before the Wilder fight, and he needs to go in there, believe in himself, and meet Deontay Wilder as he comes. You can't be on his back foot. That's what Tyson Fury did with Wilder. As he came, he met him. He leaned on him. He's big enough. Deontay Wilder's not as big as Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua uses his height and reach and his weight, and doesn't get clips on the chin, which is a big ask, I think he can do well. But anyway, we're spending far too long on the Anthony Joshua saga. Where was it? Let's have a look. Is Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou good or bad for boxing?
It's holding up the heavyweight division, so it's bad for boxing, but I'm not going to lie, I'll pay to watch it.
Yeah, I said
that. I said a similar heavyweight division. That guy's come in from absolutely nowhere with no boxing experience, and he's fighting the best heavyweight. Well, the people who the perceived lineal heavyweight champion out of nowhere. Now, that's bad for boxing because we need to see Alexander Usyk against Tyson Fury. So in that terms, yes, it's bad for boxing. He's facing an MMA guy instead of facing who everyone thinks is the best heavyweight in the world, in Alexander Usyk. So that's bad. But make no mistake, I'm going to tune in.
It's a great event.
Well, I want to see it. It's a freak show. Yeah.
But would you say it's a great event on one you want? We've said you want to watch it because it's one of them. I think it's one of them you don't want to miss because you want to see what happens.
It's Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather all over again. And I commentated ringside that night. I was on the first row. And was it good for boxing? No, not really. But did I want to see it? Absolutely.
Are you on the same page as me that it's going to be an absolute total mismatch in Fury's favour? It's not even like
he stands as much chance against Tyson Fury in a boxing ring as Tyson Fury stands against him in a cage.
Yeah, which is none.
Which is zero.
I always think a boxer's got more chance in the cage. I don't think he'll beat an MMA fighter, a boxer in a cage. I agree with you on that one. But I always think a boxer's got more chance in the cage against the cage fighter than the cage fighter's got against the boxer in a professional boxing ring. Like, for example, I think if Floyd Mayweather, and I'd love to see that as well, if Floyd Mayweather would have fought Conor McGregor in the cage, I know what you're going to say, kick him in the leg, snap his leg off, take him down and choke him out. But because Conor McGregor... Yeah, but Conor McGregor stands on his feet and he tries to box a little bit and move. Are you telling me that...
Have you ever been in a cage with an MMA fighter?
Yeah, I have, because Dan Hardy's from Nottingham. And I've also got Paul Semtex Daly. And
Did you spar with him?
I've got to be honest, mate. He took his time with me and he showed me a few moves. And the thought of him trying to kick me and then come for me with an elbow and grab hold of me, it's kind of...
my mate wouldn't even throw a punch at me. So my mate Marcus Cannon, he was in the UFC. He didn't even throw punches with me. And he knows if we throw punches, there's only one winner. So he says, you do your thing, I'm going to do mine. Yeah. He took me down in about 10 seconds. And I couldn't stop it.
Yeah, he tried to take me down. He tried to take me down, but I wasn't having it. I put my hand on the top of his head and moved him to the side. But me and you are built differently.
Mate, listen, I've wrestled most of my life. My father used to teach me little bits, and I've done it with different wrestling guys. I can wrestle, I can bull wrestle, I can normal wrestle. I know me bits and bobs, but when these guys get older, it's a whole different ballgame. Anyone who has got any kind of knowledge of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you are fucked. You cannot do anything. They take you down and they will snap something or choke the living daylights out of you. You stand no chance.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll be honest there. I'm not even gonna get into a debate with you because I agree with you. I do. I'll be honest. I do, because they're MMA fighters. It's such a different sport and people can't understand how different it is. But when you watch Conor McGregor and against Mayweather, you understand how different the sport is. And even when you watch, who did we watch last week? Well, not last week, but when Tommy Fury fought Jake Paul, Tommy Fury is a novice pro. Would you say Tommy Fury wins a British title or not? I'm not so sure he does. And even that was easy work for him, Jake Paul. And Jake Paul thinks he can box.
I just want me to give you a little thing to watch. How highly do you rate James Toney as a fighter?
Yeah, one of the best in the business.
They watch him against Randy Couture in a cage. See what happens.
I've not seen that one, actually. I'll have a look at that.
When you finish, and then you'll understand. James Toney is one of the greatest fighters of our era.
How old was he though when he fought him?
Doesn't matter, mate. Just look what happens.
Yeah, age is a little factor, but I know. Listen, we're on the same page. I agree. I'm not even.
Randy Couture was older than James Toney.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you think of Chris Eubank's performance over Liam Smith?
Okay, well, I have to give him his credit. I thought it was a very, very good performance. I thought, well, first of all, it takes a lot of bollocks to get in the ring with someone after you've just been splattered all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good mindset. Confident.
It's a very strong mindset. So, yeah, fair play. But then there's another side to that coin. Liam Smith went right, in my opinion. It's not my place to speak about Liam's stuff, what's going on. So I'll just leave it to him. But in my opinion, that weren't the proper Liam Smith in that ring. But when I say that, I get all the abuse. Oh, well, you didn't fight the proper David A. Well, I fucking did, mate, because everyone wrote me off to fight him the first time. And then guess what? They all wrote me off again the second time. So,
in the rematch, yeah.
So I fought him. And whatever they want to say, everyone had me as a massive, huge underdog. And then guess what? Because the fat kid beats him, oh, he shot a bit. He's not done anything. So you can't win. But that's my opinion of it. Chris Eubank did look really good. I can't say he didn't.
It did look good, yeah.
His minerals are really there, mate. He believes in himself and he's willing to put it on the line. Fair play.
Yeah. I came under a little bit of stick, actually, for saying that Liam Smith kind of sold the fans short a little bit by turning on, because he talked about losing 42 pounds, 3 stone. And I like Liam Smith. He's a Scouser, not that he's a Scouser, so he's automatically my friend, but they're just down to earth, genuine people, and the talk from the heart, and they're all hard workers, the Smith brothers, the hard work, the grafters. Because let's be honest, they're not the best of fighters in the world, as in the world level. But if you look at their world title fights and the amount of times they've all between them fought for world titles, I think what have you got? You've got only the major belts. You've got Callum Smith with the win over George Groves, and then who's you got next? He's got Beterbiev next, but I don't want to play down any of them. They're all hardworking, honest professionals, and they're all grafters. But I give him a bit of stick about the way he took weight off, and he turned up, and he didn't do himself proud. He didn't give himself a chance to be in the fight, and I've come under a bit of stick for that.
Saying. I mean, listen, when someone comes out and says I had to lose 42 pounds, well, that's a you problem, and there's no other way around that. That is your fault. You should never have gained that much weight, but he was injured and his back was fucked, and there was no chance of rescheduling that fight, because if they tried to reschedule that again, we all know Chris Eubank would have went up and fought Conor Ben. And them paydays that Liam just received don't come along very often in boxing in them weight divisions, as me and you both know. So he was in a bit of a catch-22, but
where was that fight going to happen with Conor Ben? Where was that going to be? Because Conor's still struggling with his licensing issues.
I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know for definite. That's just me thinking out loud, Carl, to be honest.
I don't think Eubank was going anywhere, and I think Liam Smith was badly advised. I think if he had a bad back, which he did, and he didn't have enough time to take the weight off, I think he should have gone and just said, "Listen, I need another 8 weeks. I need another 6 weeks," and just chance it.
I can't disagree with that, and I know people in his team would have liked to have done that, but ultimately the buck stops with the fighter once again. Yeah. The fighter's the boss, and the fight will always have the last say and make the final decision.
And I can't see how he's took 42 pounds, not 3 stones. I mean, you never put 3 stone on. You're a big lad, aren't you? Or did you put 3?
Unless I used to lose that at camp, I used to see it. When I used to fight a light heavy collar with absolutely brutal as me, used to watch me do it. But I mean, this is 42 pounds, a lot of weight, but I wouldn't put Liam down as a liar. It's just not his way. It's not his nature. And he hasn't made an excuse. He's come out there and said he lost to the better man. He just feels the weight got the better of him. But as I say, 42 pounds, that's a you problem. That's not anyone else's fault. That's your fault. You shouldn't have gained that weight. And there's no excuse in the world for it. Whether he was injured or not, you shouldn't have gained that weight. But ultimately, I don't think Liam was himself in that ring. And I said it from round 2. Anyone can see me social media. I was commentating on the fight as it was going on. And I just said, Liam's not right. His left knee looked absolutely done in round 2. And then I think the knockdown came in round 3. So I'd stated the obvious before it even happened. And
it looked
to watch really, because
it looked in bits, didn't it, from the start?
It takes a little bit of Eubank's glory away first and foremost. And then it doesn't do Liam any service. It doesn't do him justice for himself, to be honest.
No. And that first one was a great win and really put him out there. And then to lose the way he lost, he wasn't even in the fight. I think the punch stats, what did he do? Did he land something like 33 shots in the amount of time? What was it, 9-10 rounds? The punch output wasn't it? It looked like he couldn't punch, and he was trying to throw the odd counter.
He just looked shot a bit to me.
It was just dead. It was a shame to see. It was a shame to see. Really, it was sad to see after how good he performed in that first fight. But Chris Eubank Jr. All the credit to him, but he was in against somebody who couldn't even throw a punch back. And like Conor Ben pointed out, it still took him 10 rounds to do it. So there's always a negative spin on everything, and if you want to look for it. Right. Anyway, prime Mike Tyson versus prime Muhammad Ali. Who would win in a fight? It's a question I get asked quite a bit, actually, off the casual fans. Are you going to Ali or Tyson? What do you reckon?
I love and adore Mike Tyson, but I'm never going against him. I mean, it's wrong to even. I just can't do it. Can't do it. I adore Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali is his hero.
You just can't say that Mike Tyson knocks out Muhammad Ali, can you?
No, he doesn't, mate. No,
which he might not. He might not.
Of course, he could have, but then he might. Chances are he wouldn't have. So I don't know. But listen, the biggest puncher that heavyweight that boxing has ever seen couldn't knock Muhammad Ali out in George Foreman. He is the greatest puncher that boxing has ever seen and known. His list of knockouts is just unbelievable.
Who are you talking about now?
I'm talking about George Foreman. The greatest
Foreman.
heavyweight boxing ever.
Have you seen that film, Big George?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, I need to have a look. It's wicked. It's from when he's a kid. From when he's a kid, yeah, and like his rough upbringing, fat kid at school, and that. Oh, it's just brilliant. You need to watch that. Every boxing fan should watch that.
You leave me out of this.
I didn't say that. Right. Who's it? Right, we've talked about this already, but just give me a true or false. Going backwards a little bit. Anthony Joshua's performance against Robert Helenius was terrible. True or false?
False. The knockout makes up for any kind of pause, any kind of
negativity.
Yeah, that a knockout that vicious makes up for it.
Yeah, fair enough. Question answered. That was a quick one. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Who wins?
Terence Crawford.
Just flippantly Terence Crawford.
Mate.
Is he big enough? I know he's mustard, but is he big enough?
Errol Spence is a huge welterweight. He had no problem with Errol Spence.
Really?
Canelo started at welterweight. Depending on what weight they want to make Crawford go up to, anything over 154, he should say no.
I don't think Canelo. I don't think Canelo can get that far down now, can he? I mean, he was campaigning at super middle now. He's been up at light heavyweight, but
I would refuse to anything below 160.
Yeah, that's a smart move by Terence Crawford if he fights Alvarez. But yeah, 160 maximum then. So if we said they fought, so if they met, so if they met at middleweight, you've got Crawford winning that one.
Yeah.
And what great fight that'd be. I'd love to see that. Would you? I'd be with that.
Special.
That'd be wicked.
He's exceptional. His mind, and his boxing IQ is second to none.
Yeah.
I mean, I only have people like Vasily Lomachenko and Alexander Usyk who can process things and put it into practice as quick as him. It's only them two that can do it, like him.
And have that bad boy mindset and attitude. He's a proper top
he's nasty.
He's
nasty. I spent time with him when we were doing Creed 3. Yeah, he was in the same hotel as me and he was part of Creed 3 as well. So I got chatting to him in the gym a few times when we train in the mornings. And we had some good conversations, and his mindset, he's a killer. It's the best way to say it. Alexander Usyk and Vasily Lomachenko, lovely people, really good, honest, honourable gentlemen. Terence Crawford, Bud is the exact same as them, but he has a bit of the devil in him too.
Gervonta Davis, similar, I think.
Yeah, horrible, brilliant.
That mindset, yeah.
Horrible and brutal.
Baltimore upbringing, half his mates are dead or in prison. It's like just that mindset of the rough upbringing. And you can see that, can't you, in Crawford? And Usyk as well. And Usyk. Even though Usyk has a laugh and a smile and whatever, when the shit hits the fan, he's like, right, I've got to do something now. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad that it's special. It's only special fighters that have got that. I think I've got that as well, but there you go. I don't like blowing too much smoke up my ass. As you know.
I don't think you'd do something like that, Carl.
Right, I'm going to make an executive decision and cut this right now. We've got most of the questions, but there's still a few more questions to go, and we're just talking for far too long. I'm really enjoying myself, actually. So we'll end it now. This has been Froch on Fighting. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll pick up part 2 as soon as we can.